In a quiet village nestled between two mountains, there lived an old man named Haroon who everyone called the Stone Whisperer. He was not a wizard, nor a prophet, but his eyes held a calm fire and his voice carried the weight of many winters. Children would chase his shadow out of curiosity, and adults often sought him in silence, asking nothing but hoping he'd say something that would make their lives lighter. But Haroon rarely spoke unless the words meant something. One autumn, when the leaves fell like golden confessions, a boy named Lani came to Haroon's home. Lani was the son of a farmer and had never known anything but the land. He wasn't strong like his brothers or clever like the other boys. He doubted himself at every step, feeling like a question in a world of answers. That morning, after yet another failed attempt at lifting a bag of grain, he walked all the way to the edge of the forest where Haroon lived. Haroon was sitting near a flat stone, arranging smaller stones in a spiral. Lani stood quietly, not knowing what to say. After a moment, Haroon looked up with a half-smile and asked, "Do you believe a mountain knows it's tall?" Lani blinked, confused. "I don't know. Maybe not." "Exactly," said Haroon, returning to his stones. "It simply is. That's its strength." Lani frowned. "I'm not a mountain, though. I'm just me. I try and fail. I don't feel strong or smart." Haroon didn't reply. Instead, he pointed to the stone spiral. "Sit with me." They sat in silence, the wind brushing their cheeks like a whisper of forgotten things. After some time, Haroon picked up a jagged little rock and handed it to Lani. "Take this to the river. Sit with it in the water until you understand why I gave it to you." Lani hesitated, but Haroon's gaze left no room for questions. The boy walked down to the river, sat on the edge, and held the rock in the current. Time passed, the sun shifted, birds called, and still Lani sat, water moving over the stone, over his fingers. He looked down at the rock. It was sharp, rough, uneven. Ugly, some might say. He thought about himself and all his doubts, all the moments he'd failed and wanted to give up. He closed his eyes. When he returned to Haroon, he held out the stone and said, "It doesn't change. No matter how long the water runs over it. It's still jagged." Haroon nodded. But it stayed. Didn't move. Didn't drift away. Lani tilted his head. So, Haroon said, "You think strength is about smoothness, or being big, or always winning. But that stone didn't leave. It didn't pretend to be something else. It stayed where it was, stubborn, certain of its place. Most people drift. Most people chase who they're not. But the ones who stand firm, who stay even when life rushes against them, they shape the flow around them." Lani looked down at the rock again. For the first time, he saw not what it wasn't, but what it was. Real. Unmoved. Present. "But I don't feel like that," Lani said softly. Haroon chuckled. "Belief doesn't begin with feeling. It begins with choice. A mountain doesn't need to feel tall to be tall. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. Stand where you are. Know what you are. And when the world pushes, you'll find out how unshakable you can be." That night, Lani returned home. He didn't suddenly become stronger or smarter. He still failed, sometimes. But he didn't run from his own shadow. He stood where he was. He showed up. And in time, others began to lean on him, to listen when he spoke, to see him not as a question, but as an answer of his own making. The advice: you don't need to feel ready, worthy, or strong. You only need to stand as you are and believe in the place you hold. The rest follows.